Phosphor Dot fans, Earl at thelogbook.com, back in the 80s, back on the Odyssey2. By the way, I feel like I should probably address this because a lot of the people following me started their journey with me back when I was doing a podcast called Select Game, which covered the Odyssey2, and it kind of, after all this time, kind of remains the Odyssey2 podcast. The Odyssey2 podcast. I don't think anyone else has attempted it. I don't want anyone to consider that project to be dead, because I certainly don't consider it to be dead. It's just taking a nap, kind of like all of my podcasts are, especially right now while I am doing Genealogy for Roddenberry podcast. Genealogy is a weekly, and it's a beast that has to be fed. And, of course, it's also a paycheck. So I have to give that one priority over other stuff. But Select Game will be back. But in the meantime, the less production-intensive nature of Phosphor Dot Fossils means that I think it's okay if I circle back to some Odyssey2 favorites and cover them in video form. And those of you seeking more history and in-depth information about each game, Select Game is still there. It's still on the website. It's still on the various podcast platforms. Go give it a listen. It's still there, and I do intend to get back to it someday. But right now, I feel a little bit attacked by a Timelord.
Prepare for defeat.
That Skeletor-looking face that you saw at the beginning of the game.
Prepare for defeat.
Asking me to prepare for his feat. Or defeat. Not sure which.
Your planet is doomed.
Oh, I know that, but that was before you had anything to do with it. The armaments deployed against you become more varied as the game wears on. Like you have these little guys that they shoot at you that kind of follow you. Bye-bye. A little bit Galaga, a little bit Centipede going on here. Okay, these green things I hate, because they will, if you don't shoot them down, if you don't intercept them, they'll get on the ground and follow you.
Attack and destroy.
The Skeletor-looking character is named Spyrus the Deathless, Time Lord of Chaos. Now, when I got this game, I think it was Christmas of 82? Maybe 83? I don't rightly remember. I was very excited because I had begun my journey into Doctor Who fandom that would last the rest of my life. At least I haven't stopped yet. And, the game said right on the box, Attack of the Time Lord. And I was like, oh, cool. The Doctor Who game. I was a little bit let down when it turned out that it had nothing to do with Doctor Who. And yet I still kind of low-key want to work Spyrus the Deathless, Time Lord of Chaos, into official Whovian mythology. That's all I ask for, the biggest Earl-specific in-joke that anyone at the BBC could manage. Or Big Finish. I'm not picky. Ah. Will you hurry up and let me shoot you down already? Holy crap.
Conquer the world.
Oh, I thought I'd had it there. I did have it there.
Prepare for defeat.
So, anyway, continuing the story for a moment. Yeah, I was a little bit let down that the Time Lord in this case was nothing to do with my favorite Time Lord. Now, the interesting thing is, in Europe, this game went out under a different title, and of course it didn't have the voice. The face just showed up and just taunted you. In Europe, it was sold under the name Terrahawks, which was a Jerry Anderson puppet series. So I guess the face was supposed to be Zelda, and it made as much sense as Attack of the Time Lord did. So, just by crossing the Atlantic, you go from, okay, so it's not a Doctor Who tie-in to, wow, okay, so it's a tie-in with something else? So, kind of a double dip of disappointment for me. Not that I don't love Terrahawks. It's fine. It's something I came to later. But Attack of the Time Lord is a really difficult game. I used to rack up some pretty good scores on that, like into the 600s, but beyond that, my hand-eye coordination just couldn't sustain any longer, because eventually the bear does get you. Thanks as always for watching. Let me know if you too were disappointed by the confusion over what kind of Time Lord was in this game, or if you were one of the people who got the Terrahawks game instead. It says a lot to what your primary fandom is, depending on which one you were more excited about.